morning, happy Monday. It's the start of a new week. Here we are. I'm filming a little bit of a week in my life and a little bit of writing around 9-to-5 job. Just the usual stuff, really. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. Last week was a terrible week. I was dealing with a lot of wrist pain and every time I sat down to write, I could not focus, and I think I was averaging about 500 words a day, so I'm hoping this week feels a little bit better. I don't necessarily care about how many words I get down, but I just hope that writing is a little bit more fun than it was last week, because it was really hard last week. To give you an example of that, this would be the second time that I did this, so keep that in mind. I've made this mistake before, but at the last scene that I wrote it from a character's perspective, and I got to the end and it was about, I think it was about 800 words, and it was the first scene all week that I was able to kind of write more and it felt okay. Got to the end and I realized that the character that I chose for the perspective of this particular scene wouldn't understand any of the language that was being spoken. So all of the dialogue that I wrote, I need to change. I just gave up. And that is exactly how writing went last week. Just a lot of struggle and, again, a lot of wrist pain. So this weekend I just did not write. I minimized my typing. I did not scroll. I just didn't use my hands as much as I have been, and I'm hoping that this week is a little bit more comfortable. It's really hard. It's really hard when you're in pain, and when that pain is directly linked to my writing, I get really sad about it, because obviously I love to write and it is what gets me through my days. I am still working through the second book in the series, and I'm almost done the first part of the book. For me is divided up into 3 parts. There are 3 pivotal moments in the book that happen, and basically the 3 parts are the build up to those moments, and so I'm almost done the first part, which is actually pretty amazing. I really have no idea how long this is gonna be. I don't even know. I'm not gonna panic. It's gonna be okay. I was about to go into a big rant, but it's gonna be fine. I'm just gonna sit down and write, and we'll see where we get. Let's get into this week of writing. I'm so curious to see where it goes. Let's have high hopes. Let's have high hopes for the week ahead. Wherever you are, I hope you're cozy. If not, get cozy, and let's get into it. Let's get some writing done this week. That was a power hour, I will say. That was I was a lot more productive than I thought I was gonna be. I think writing kind of first thing in the morning for me is probably, not first thing, I like to read, but I think writing in the morning before work is always my best chance at productivity, because I don't know, there's just something about being able to focus. Maybe it's the immediate post-coffee high, but yeah, that was a productive session. I got about 1,100 words down. I don't know, I am struggling with this draft, but I just keep reminding myself that I struggled with the first draft. So the scene that I was writing, my character kind of falls back into her memories, which is something that happens quite often, but she does it at a very inopportune time. So it's a scene filled with action, so it's a little bit easier for me to write. It kind of just flows out. There's not a lot of technical writing that needed to happen, so it felt really good. I like the scenes that I'm writing. There are moments in the scenes that I'm writing that I really enjoy. And that's good, and that's kind of what I'm hanging on to. It's the macro level of the story that I'm struggling with. But I keep reminding myself again and again that this is the same thing that happened with draft 1. Actually, I was thinking this morning that I remember draft 1. I remember finishing it and handing it to my readers, which were basically my fiance and my best friend, and having them read it. And in my first draft, there was no war. There were no war scenes at all. The war was this distant thing. And I remember the biggest feedback from that draft was, we need to see the war. We need more war. Like, the war needs to happen. You need to write war, basically. They both know me so well, and they were like, you need to write war. And so I went back, and the war became a huge chunk of the book. It's half of my first book, and you are in the war, and you are in the characters' heads during war, and there are a ton of fighting scenes. And this book, literally, the first book would literally be nothing without the war. And so I just keep reminding myself that this first draft just needs to be done so that I can find the elements that I like and I can go back and expand on them. I'm sorry if none of that is making sense, but I think that that's kind of what's getting me through finishing this first draft, is that it's not going to be overall perfect. The plot is probably going to look incredibly different, but I don't know what will shine. I don't know what will work unless I just keep going. As much as I'm not enjoying the overarching plot and I'm really struggling with it, I know that when I have the big picture completed, I'll be able to go out. I'll be able to really just dive in and pick elements and expand on them. And the draft will probably look really different. I always kind of second guess sharing this because I don't want any preconceived notions of my book. I worry that hearing me say things such as, oh, I'm struggling with this part of the story, or I don't like this, I'm worried that those things will influence readers when they read my work, and I don't want that to happen, obviously. I love my first draft now. I love my book. I love my story, and I love these characters so very much, and I'm very proud of how my first draft ended up looking, and I know that once an editor gets their eyes on it, it's going to look even better, and I'm very proud of it, and I would never put something out in the world that I wasn't proud of. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm proud of it. And so I'm sharing all of these struggles knowing that the finished product will look different, and I will be proud of it, and I won't put something out that I'm not ready to stand behind, if that makes sense. I mean, like I said, nothing is going to be perfect, but so I guess that's my little disclaimer. I hope that when the day comes that you get to read my work, you know that I am giving you something that I ultimately love and not something that I struggled with. I don't know if any of that made sense, but I do know that it is time to get to work. I feel like I immediately finish my meetings and then I run to find my cat, but I am done all of my meetings now and I am so tired, but I am going to do my writing now. I'm gonna try to do 30 minutes. It's a very, very hectic day at work, so I feel like I don't want to do too long of a writing session, so I'm going to do a quick little lunch writing. I'm going to make myself some tea. I'm going to be very jealous that we just get to chill all day as a cat. What are you contributing to this household? happy to report, I am very happy to report that it was a really good writing day today. I managed to get out 2,700 words, which is my entire word count for last week. I have no idea like where these ups and downs come from, but honestly, it's one of the reasons why I've learned to just kind of ride the lows and ride the highs and like let them come and let them go and just continue writing through them all, because honestly, it's so strange to me that last week I could barely manage to write 500 words a day, and today, as if nothing, I was able to manage such a high word count. No idea. The best part about that, though, is that I was able to do it with very little to no wrist pain. Still doing my physio, though. As you saw, I did a little bit of my wrist workouts, which are super, super thrilling, I know, but it is part of my writing, so I wanted to show it because it's not all glamorous and easy. And on a day like today, when, you know, I'm reporting to you that I'm happily writing 2,700 words in like 2 hours of writing, because I wrote for a little bit in the morning, I wanted to show, you know, the kind of other side of it, which is the wrist pain and the upkeep and all of that. I'm so happy with my writing today. I managed to finish a scene. I managed to get to the end of a scene, and that means that tomorrow I'm starting an entirely new scene, and that's always really fun for me because the scene that I'm starting starts with a pretty horrific nightmare, and so I get to write a little bit of blood and gore and intense emotion, and I'm super, super, super excited to do that. Tomorrow, if I get through to the end of the scene that I'm planning to write, I will be done the first part of my book, which is crazy to me. I don't know that I will get to the end of the scene tomorrow, or if I'll just be able to start it and get partway through. I don't really care. I think that if I manage to finish that scene and start the next part of the book, I'm going to be super happy. Whether that happens tomorrow or happens later on this week, whatever. Going with the flow as per usual. No pressure, this is all fun. I feel like you can probably hear the bath running in the background, but my skin has been so bad lately that I'm trying to do a honey face mask, which literally means I just like put honey on my face. It's really itchy and sticky and a very odd sensation, but I'm hoping that it helps heal a little bit. It's just been like really, really sore. I've never done it before, but yeah, I straight up just like took honey by the spoonful and smeared it all over my face. Hopefully it makes me glow. Hi. I wanted to update on my writing session during lunch. It's now after work. I'm just at my office and I'm about to head to the gym. And I had a really good session. I wrote for about an hour and I managed to get down, I think, 1,200 words. Yeah, 1,200 words, and it felt really good. It was a little bit of a spicy scene. It actually started with a very violent scene, and then it started with like a violent nightmare. So there was like a lot of gore and pretty horrific writing, and then it turned into like a bit of a spicy scene. I don't know if that sounds appealing at all. It sounds worse than what it actually was, but there was a spicy scene, and so I'm writing it, and the woman beside me kept looking at my screen. And I don't actually know if she was registering anything, but she was looking at my screen a couple times, and I was just hyper aware that I was writing a spicy scene, and it was a first draft of a spicy scene, so I can't imagine if she had actually read anything, if it was good. But anyway, I had my screen super, super dark, so I don't think she was able to see anything, but it was really funny, and I was hyper aware of it the whole time and kind of laughing at myself, but that's what happens when you write in a public place. I didn't think that through. Anyway, it was really funny, and it felt really, really good to get those words down, and yeah, I'm feeling good. I am officially done the first part of the story, which is so crazy to me. I have 2 more parts to go. As I was saying before, it's 3 parts. I don't think that they're equal in length, but I'm so excited. Tomorrow I get to pick up the next part of the story, and the next part of the story has some really, really interesting characters that I plan to introduce, and I just feel like they're going to be so much fun to write. There's going to be so much drama and tension to write, so it's going to feel really good. I am now going to head to the gym and then pick up some stuff for dinner. We are going to have some, Tom's going to have a chicken sandwich. I'm going to have a fake meat chicken sandwich, and it's going to be delicious. Hello. Just a little bit of an update with my writing today. It is I'm just about to finish work. I actually have an appointment that I have to run to, and I'm about to leave. It's almost 4. And I had such a good writing day. It was so good. I didn't film my writing session during lunch because I was actually transferring all of the footage from this vlog over, and I use my phone for that, obviously, so I cannot film. But I ultimately ended up writing about 2,500 words, and that feels amazing. Actually, honestly, not even the word count, as I always say. I feel like I'm always repeating myself, but I think it bears repeating because, like, I don't ever want anyone to play the comparison game over word counts. I just think it's silly. I think that everyone does everything at incredibly different paces, and it does not matter. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that rant because I feel like I say it all the time. What is even better than the word count is the fact that the scenes felt so good to write. I have entered the second part of the book, and it was just like a really vivid, descriptive moment where she arrives, and I got to kind of describe this landscape, and I love doing that. It's just so fun to like let your imagination soar a little bit. And the other scene that I wrote was actually from a character's perspective that I talked about in my last writing vlog, and whenever I get to write this character, I just like get so happy because I love him, and it was such a heartbreaking scene. It was a heartbreaking scene, but it was so good, and it feels amazing. 2,500 words. I just like I'm really happy with the progress that I've made so far this week. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just so excited. I'm good. I'm so excited. So I now need to head out to my appointment, and then yeah, I think I'm just gonna get home, maybe work a little bit on editing this video. That's something that I often never show, but usually the second half of my week, my evenings are filled with editing, and all of Thursday night is basically dedicated to editing. I don't ever show that because it's like super boring and not that interesting, and that's how the sausage gets made. This is like a really uncomfortable position to talk in. Ugh, what a way to start this. Is just a big old yawn, but it is Thursday, it is after work, and you are seeing Editing Megan in all of her fabulous glory. I'm also in Tom's office slash our kind of like garbage room, which isn't actually filled with garbage, it's just where we kind of dump everything, and it has the only bookshelf that we actually have in the apartment other than like the ones in my bedroom. So these are all of our random books. I wanted to just update today, I guess, because I've updated kind of everything else. I had another really good writing day. I managed to get down 1,500 words, and that was a full scene. I actually wrote a full scene, which I sometimes do. I don't always write an entire scene when I sit down, but like it feels really good when you can like write a scene from beginning to end. The scene that I was writing today was from the mind of one of my favorite characters to write. I've talked about him before. I should specify, I like writing from all of them, but he's just the most comfortable. And the scene was like so heartbreaking. He is interacting with someone, and admittedly today I got really distracted because I found such a perfect song. I will put it up here because it is so good, and it was like such a good mood, and it was very inspiring for the scene that I wrote today. So I was just listening to it, and then I found the artist on YouTube singing it live, and so I did get a little distracted while I was writing the scene, but ultimately I was able to finish it, and it felt really good, and it feels really good going into the weekend. I don't really know how to wrap this vlog up, honestly. This is very much just like a week in my life and like what it looks like trying to write and do videos and everything around a 9 to 5. I really just like doing this because I feel like it is such a good diary for myself, selfishly, to look back and see all of the ups and downs, and to kind of smile at the various moments that I talk about and things like that. It's just like a really good diary for myself. I hope it's motivating for you. I hope it is motivating and it is nothing else. I don't ever want to come across as someone who has it all together or who is hyper productive. I really do need to film a week where I struggle with writing, I think. I really want to try to capture that. It just so happens that last week I was filming my Jane Austen vlog, but I promise the next time I go through a rut, I will pick up the camera and I will document it because I think it's really important to show that other side. I haven't actually calculated my entire word count for the week because the week actually isn't over. Tomorrow is Friday and it's a long weekend, so I'm probably going to get a bit more work done throughout the week, and so I don't think it'd be an accurate depiction of like what I can write in a week when it's going really well. But I know for a fact Monday I completely defeated my word count for last week, and so I think that that's kind of, I hope that serves as a reminder that I'm not always like super productive, and sometimes I really struggle with writing. But my way to get through that is to literally just keep going, because last week was so difficult, but this week felt so good, and I'm just really, really happy to have powered through and kept writing every single day, no matter how much I didn't want to. And I really think that that's the key, is just to give yourself whatever time you can throughout the day to celebrate the weeks like this week where it felt amazing and I was able to get quite a bit of words down, and to also honor weeks like last week where it was 500 words a day if I was lucky, and it really, really sucked. Well, okay, I think that's all I have to say. So thank you so very much for watching this. I hope it was motivating. I hope you are happy wherever you are, and I suppose until next time.